Welcome back, everyone, to the Sunday Spotlight. And tonight we're checking in with our neighbors up north with Kona. This is a 2017 first-person detective adventure from Canadian studio Parable. I picked this up a while ago and I never got around to it, but it apparently did well enough to warrant a sequel that came out last year. These appear to be their only titles, and from what little I've played so far, the game makes a pretty good first impression. Hey, Kren. Yeah, Kren gets it. But yeah, I figured this would be like some kind of linear sequence of adventure game puzzles or something like that, but there's quite a bit more gameplay than I was expecting. And it's not exactly open world, but there does appear to be a big environment you can explore with some survival elements and even some occasional combat. Canada has a myth. Some say a land called Canada exists. I have not been there myself, but people speak many things of it, things most mystical and weird. But yes, it is set in 1970, northern Canada, a fictional region in northern Quebec, about an hour from the real town of Chibougamau, I believe it's pronounced, and like 7 hours or so north of Montreal. So we're very much out in the sticks here. As far as the plot goes, we are a private investigator showing up to help some rich client investigate some local matter, and naturally things get way more complicated than just some petty mystery. Hey, Orange, yeah, good to see ya. But yeah, the game does a pretty good job at introducing basic mechanics, and you have quite a bit more freedom to navigate than you'd expect. And honestly, it just looks really nice. The environments have a good amount of detail, the UI is clean and effective, your character model physically interacts with stuff. The devs put some real effort into it. Yeah, a fabled land inhabited by long-distance girlfriends, war criminals, and strange doppelgangers that say sorry. But yeah, some technical details first. This game has all the options you'd expect for something reasonably modern. Good spread of graphics options. You got a field of view slider. That one's for you, Total Biscuit. You got narrator. You've got a slider for narrator frequency. You have dual audio tracks for English and French. This is a Canada-ass Canada game, and it's a pretty lean installation too. It's a little over 3 gigabytes of space. Like for comparison, Disco Elysium is like 9.5 gigs. I couldn't find much about the studio, but I get the feeling the devs have some experience under their belt for this. Anyway, let's get rolling. So we'll start a fresh playthrough here. I haven't gotten that far. Yeah, I always appreciate when devs can do a lot with a little. Off we go.
Carl Faubert sought information for a living. That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces, he had been working as a
we're
private investigator
very much out in the
undercover.
wilderness.
William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home
I
about.
swear I've heard this narrator before.
Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads.
Agreed,
But
Ivory.
that's how it had always been. The client pays, Carl gets it done.
Alright, so we're seeing something important right off the bat here. I am now controlling the vehicle. I can
They
look
had
around
set
and
up to
fiddle
meet
with
at the
things,
general store,
poke at
his
the
client's
radio,
business.
and
Well,
while I can't get out of
actually,
the car
entire
just yet,
village had
we will be
William
doing that
Hamilton's name
shortly.
written all over it.
This needs the police squad intro, I think. Just... I'm alright. I get it up here. Y'all drive on the left
When
up
the
here,
roads
right?
were bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
Alright, so a bit of info. North of Quebec is not actually a particular place, but what is called the north of Quebec. Just a big chunk of land in Quebec that has no real civilization and a whole lot of wood and mines and
Hamilton never mentioned a
Yeah.
road blocking barrier.
that
Why
tracks
was it needed
around
here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it.
Yeah, that tracks with the setting we're in. So, as you can see, we are blocked here, and there's no ranger on duty to tend to the place. We were not informed about this. Oh, sure. Alright, that should help a little bit. Alright. Manistan, it will be good. Very helpful there. Alright, yeah. Northern Quebec and its inexhaustible resources. The province of Quebec sits on an inexhaustible abundance of natural resources. Why not take advantage of this? Our valuable minerals could travel the world and reach places as far as Dallas, USA. Get involved and invest now. Quebec's economic might will be awakened at the heart of the wilderness. The north is swarming with wolves, caribou, bears, partridges, foxes, snowy owls, and hordes of other majestic creatures that are totally not out here to murder us. Yeah, they're every bit the equals of Africa's wildlife. We are the Africa of America. Come to discover the north and experience a genuine white jungle. I get the feeling that is not going to be hyperbole in this case. County of Manistan and its people wish to see you very soon. Yeah, that's not obvious at all. Yeah, Quebec tends to think about Quebec. Canada is a distant second. Yeah, I get a lot of that here. I put it at even odds. We will be like fighting off deranged Quebec separatists up here at some point. Anyway,
Hamilton no doubt knew who managed the barrier. Carl wanted to give him a call, but that would have been too easy though, as sure enough the line was acting up.
so yeah, I mentioned that your character model has a presence in this world, and you can actually see us here. When you open your inventory and such or look at the map, you actually get it out and physically look at it. And we are somewhere around here, so we've actually got a ways to go for here. There's a lot of real estate that is covered, and it has the feeling of more of an open world game than you'd expect from something like this. Hey guys, good to see you. Yeah, I quite like this so far. It doesn't feel like an on-rails tutorial sequence, even if we are currently limited in where we can go. You have a little bit more freedom of movement and interaction than you'd expect. Anyway, you'll notice that we just picked up some camping supplies in addition to the bolt cutters. So we're going to need this to get the gate up ourselves. Bit of trivia for those on stream. Nord de Quebec has 3,644 archaeological sites known and listed. Yeah. Like we were talking about with the size of America in general and the United States in particular, I think it's often easy to underestimate just how big Canada is.
Still not a soul in sight. There was no point.
I forget what the statistics were,
Carl had to
the
figure
exact
this one out
percentage
by
was, but I
himself.
know a majority of the country
Hamilton
lives
is waiting for Carl in the general store.
reasonably
It was
close
time for
to
him to get down to business.
reasonably close to the southern border. Anyway, yeah, we are at the fictional site of Lake Atamapek, I believe that's how
Carl
it's
was
pronounced.
meeting his client in a store near this area. He was on the right track.
So yeah, we get the sense we're very much in the backwoods here. Anyway, back into our truck.
William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart
They don't
of
actually like the
northern
cold as much
forest.
as people think we do
Not
live in
too far
igloos.
from
Yeah,
here.
80% of the population lives south near the border. Makes sense.
The local
And you see
populace
that in
was
a lot of
divided
places.
when it
Like
came to
China
the
is
outdoor
huge,
event.
but the population
Some saw a
density
wealthy
tends to be
philanthropist dedicated
concentrated
to
along
improving
rivers
the
and other
region's economy.
geographical features.
Others, an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him.
So
Hamilton
we're up
had
here dealing
recently
with rich
acquired a
people
few
problems,
local
basically.
businesses. But the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people.
Of course. So you want us to
Given
chase
these
off the natives, huh?
circumstances,
Got it.
Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another.
Yeah, Russia's another case.
So far, only the industrialists
radio just went
had been
out.
a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man.
Oh! One sec, narrator. We got a problem. Oh man, I was having this nightmare.
The cold and the pain.
Stuck up in the
required
wilderness,
urgent care.
the wilderness of Canada, and oh shit. So yeah, right off the bat, you've got some weird shit happening because we've only been out for a few hours, but suddenly everything's just covered in snow. So this is not going to be a conventional mystery here. There is obviously something else going on. Anyway, our truck is stuck in a ditch here. But we're also banged up pretty bad. We need to heal up and we need to warm up before we can go. We also need one more thing to actually get us out of here. But I want to point this out. So deposit withdraw items. Right away this
Carl
game is
wondered
telling
how
you that
long
your
he would
truck
have to
is going
endure
to
this
be
skin-stinging
important. You're going to be
cold.
using it regularly to get around. Yeah, we're getting hit by a Canadian blizzard.
The driver
A very
had
sudden
taken
one at
off.
that.
It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance.
Alright,
Carl
so
needed help.
what do we got here? Oh, hey, hey. Open the door back up, Carl. We're not done investigating. We're a detective, gotta do detective-y things.
Such heart-wrenching Nordic poetry, that was. But Carl didn't care much about flowery language.
Isabel, you gave meaning to everything. When you disappeared, so did purity. I would defend purity against the winds, the tides, against ice and blizzard. Alright, what's this?
It was a small, locked box engraved with the letters W.H.
Ooh,
Carl
okay.
thought about taking it. Nothing
Oh.
was to be left to chance.
Carl, put the map away. Alright. First aid kit. This is valuable. But, as
This
you can
deep
see,
in the
we're starting to
country,
freeze
his
up.
last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
So, looks like there is a Manistan Sud. I believe that is south, so there should be a ranger station somewhere around here. Yes, here we are. Alright, so yeah, survival is important in this game. It is an element of gameplay, and we're going to need to warm ourselves up. So,
Carl couldn't give up. Surely something in there could be useful.
so yeah, we grab a log, and we're actually going to need to start a fire in here. There we go. Alright. Now, let's look around, because there's one other thing we need to get our car out of the ditch here. That would be this thing right here.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert had succeeded once more.
Right.
And was now on his way to new adventures.
We are going to need some tire chains to get around here, which is very much a thing if you're driving up in the mountains or anywhere where snow is a major hazard. Like if you... This is going to be a little bit region-specific. The only place I've ever been to that was... This was a consideration was Lake Tahoe in winter, and that is definitely a situation where if you don't have four-wheel drive or chains for your tires, you are probably not getting up there. Anyway, we got what we need to proceed, so let's get back to the car. Although, is there anything of interest here in the tower? Yeah, Quebec allows for chains around your tires in northern Quebec, as it's well known that snow hits hard and for a while. Yeah, yeah. There's a line from this game, the first Penumbra game, Overture, during one of the loading screens that talks about how we kind of build society around safety nets and things, emergency services, things we can retreat to when things go wrong, things we can rely on when we're in trouble. And you realize in situations like this just how far away you are from that. Like, in the context of the story, the protagonist talks about that closing ring of boys at school, meaning, like, a time from school where he was about to get his ass kicked, basically. But he's also referring to his current situation, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. You realize just how out in the middle of nowhere you are in places like this, and I kind of got that same vibe from up in Alaska, where you get far enough off the beaten path and you realize you are alone out here if anything happens. Anyway, we got the chains. Oh, right. I still gotta heal up. Carl, put the map away. Alright, consumable. Okay, good. I did use it automatically. Alright. Chains on the tires. Yeah, no kidding. You can turn around up there, you ain't gonna get found again until spring. Alright. Hey, we got radio. Perfect. Alright, in fact, let me check the map here.
Now wasn't a good time to wander about. Hamilton was still out there.
Let's see, map, here we are. Alright. So again, I like the attention to detail here. We can actually drive while checking the map. It's ill-advised, but we can do this. But the location cursor only appears when we can zoom in on it, which I believe we have to be out on the ground. Oh wait, no, you can see it. Right there by Manistan Sud. There it is. Cool.
Carl's military training had made him a very punctual
or
man.
be bear beat, or as we
Being
talked,
late
you run
to his
into a
meeting
moose.
with Hamilton was out of the question.
Yeah, I love that the instructions for dealing with wildlife varied so widely. Like, with bears, the idea is to basically stand your ground and either don't back down, or if it approaches you, to sort of curl up in a ball and hope for the best. With moose, the advice is just run. Like, get behind a
Spread out on
tree,
few
get out of
acres
its way,
untouched
just
forest,
fucking run.
Bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes. The Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry.
Ooh, wait a minute. I saw that.
Now wasn't a good time to
Yeah,
wander
I know.
about.
Let's
Hamilton
see.
was still out there.
I think that's just a scenic detour and such. I believe that is a gas station up ahead, so we're looking for that store near the first set of icons there.
Carl was dying to stretch his legs, but he had to stay focused on the
Yeah,
task.
the
at
advice for
hand.
bears actually differs on the bear. Yeah. Grizzlies obviously differing from brown
Truck was
bears,
running
differing
on
from
fumes.
polar bears,
Good
etc.
thing that the general store was close by.
There are gradients of orneriness to them, although they are all assuredly basically Dark Souls monsters made real. Alright. I'm actually running out of gas, so we gotta pull in up here. Yeah, so much of nature is cute and cuddly. And it's just not. I mean, it looks cute and cuddly, but it's not. And that's not fair, man. Why can't I have a red panda for a pet? Anyway, Carl, confusingly, keeps his engine running while we're supposed to pump gas into it, which is a terrible goddamn idea.
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
But, yeah, whatever.
Something fell to the bottom of the box.
Interesting. Anyway. Hey, I need... Oh, hey.
Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He
Well.
had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But
All right,
only
well.
a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close. That the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized.
Alright, well, our employer's dead. Short game, let's get out of here. Good job, everyone. Nope, unfortunately we gotta proceed. It begs the question, who killed him? And why? Alright. Alright, what do we got here?
What could be inside that envelope?
Mr. John
Carl was
Vo,
taken
Montreal.
aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
Interesting. Alright, well, the envelope appears to be empty. But, obviously, something is amiss here. Is there anything on the body?
Carl felt a chill down his spine and had a terrifying realization. If Hamilton was dead, then who was going to pay him?
Excellent question. We are now officially freelancing here. Alright, so this is kind of a nice little style point here. Like, it uses this mix of narration and contextual clues and details that get kind of splashed over the environment. Yeah, not in the mood to drink maple syrup. But yeah, they do a nice job calling attention to the important items in the room, the things you can interact with, without being
An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
too obtrusive. Oh boy. Alright, so you can see our breath here, so now the power is off. Oh god.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas.
Do they now?
Wait, was it about bears?
Great, Carl. Way to remember your wilderness training.
Carl
All right.
was no electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
Alright, so we don't have the resources to repair the generator, but... Actually, let's close this. Alright, the breaker box over here lets us switch between... Right, from the generator or from the power line. Obviously, the power line's been cut, so we have to switch it over to the generator. So that's kind of what I mean about the survival mechanics and the things you can interact
that the
with in
garage
the environment
and the store
here.
couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
They're doing a lot of like actual gameplay and exploration stuff that I was not expecting from this. Anyway, since we are repairing this, let's look around and get some supplies. Alright.
According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
Huh. Alright, so we got a bunch of deadbeat clients. Ooh, duct tape. Here we go. That should let us repair the power line outside. Now, fortunately, the flashlight doesn't appear to have a time limit, or at least not that I've noticed, so it's already got that. Okay, we need pliers. So yeah, the game's already got that up on most games. Alright, there should be some tools around here, and if not, we can check the garage. Now, since our employer is dead and this is now a crime scene, we are free to loot the place for anything we need. We're not going to take literally anything. Okay, ate too many of those in Korea. But might as well take stuff that we deem pertinent to the investigation, which is to say, anything. Like that first aid kit, for instance. I'll take that, thank you. Alright, what's this?
Carl knew that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store.
Ooh, alright.
That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
You know what, Hamilton? I have a frog in my throat. And when people have a frog in their throat, they do not take risks by going to work. Customers can catch it, right? I'm a wise man. Not to worry, I'll have a nice doctor's note, which I'm going out to get right now. Sadly, in the meantime, I'll have to close down the shop. Unless you'd like to come fill in for me. I wouldn't dare advise you, after all. You must know how it's done, since it's yours now. With kind regards, your dedicated manager, Gilles. I think that's how it's pronounced. They literally just said it. Alright. Ooh, keys. Nice. I think that said garage key. Alright, I think we'll probably find tools out there. Alright. If I recall right, the entrance was on the opposite side. But you can see here, if we were so inclined, we could start a fire out here. So there are some kind of, like, open-worldy elements to this game. More so than I was expecting. Alright. Clean a spot in the area. There should be pliers in here somewhere. Hardware. Pliers! Perfect. Now we can repair the generator. Alright. Anything else in here? Doesn't look like it. Gotta say, our truck's been going for a long time on that last sliver of gas. It leaves the door open, some wolf is like, well, I guess I'll dine. I mean, why not at this point? If they eat the grocery store supplies, they won't eat us. Alright. Oh, did I actually turn that on? I did not. There we go. Alright. Alright, store is open, we are no longer freezing. Now we can look around properly. General store also serves as a post office for the locals. Anything of interest? Alright, to open cash register, punch the price, 2 numbers minimum, press sale, turn the crank 2 times, punch the machine if it doesn't work. Kick ass. Alright, we can put that away. Secretary wouldn't be luxury in here. Alright. Manistan, Quebec's Klondike. Alright. Northern Quebec's economy is booming. The north of Chibougamo's area's population will soon reach 30,000 souls, among which thousands of happy families will be prospering thanks to the hard labor of their fathers, who will be contributing valiantly in expanding Quebec's national wealth. Mines and hydroelectricity, hunting and fishing, the true Canadian dream. Turn it into your reality now. The mines, a sector in full expansion. Did you know that since 1960, Canada tripled the amount of resource royalties it collects? Did you know that Canada's true source of richness is lying under your very feet at this very moment? The building of our schools and our hospitals depends on minerals. Exploiting our resources. The road to our future. Kick ass. Yeah. Punch the thing when it doesn't work is how, yeah, it's how you resolve most things. I completely understand that. So yeah, getting the sense that they were trying to start up a mining town out here. Probably ran afoul of the locals
showing
and
some
then
pride in having killed a nice pelted beast. With
someone
men like this roaming
off
the
our
area,
employer for
wolves would
reasons we
become
don't yet
extinct within
know.
10 years, Carl thought.
Anyway, let's open this bad boy up. Alright. Where is the... Let's see. Credits, calc... Oh, sale. There we go. Hang on a second. There we go. Hey! Post key, huh? Alright. I was kind of doing that just to mess with it, but... Let's go take a look at what's in the post box. Are you required to say sorry? Only if it talks back. Alright. So we heard something fall down here. What do we got? Oh!
The murder weapon.
Bingo!
What was that doing there, Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep some information secret to post this key. Shame he got unlocked.
Oh, the key goes to the box we found.
Everything made sense now. Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted, and he figured it would be best to lock everything up and send the key to his correspondent, who would receive the box later on. Clever, but not enough. That's
So
what happens to ordinary people playing spy.
is the threat in this game that you're in Canada and it's cold? Yeah, basically. Hey, Mirage, good to see you. So yeah, it is as a citizen of Her Majesty, the free economic chambers of the world, that I must address what follows to the proper authorities. The worst is happening at this very moment. I cannot write at length, but I am requesting immediate help from my country. I believe the free world is in grave danger. A member of my community, the Honorable... Alright. So, Hamilton was about to change something. Probably something in his will, or something with his business. Got interrupted. The killer shot him, disposed of the murder weapon, and the attempts to change this in the post box. And also we found the letter apparently being spirited away in a car that ran off the road, and that was just before we woke up and everything had turned into a blizzard. So we're getting a mix of some interesting local politics, personal motivations, and possibly weird stuff happening at the margins here. We don't really know the scope of what's happening here. Solves it. It would seem like that, yeah. They use the word honorable when speaking of someone who's in Parliament and member of the House. Yeah, I'm getting the sense that Hamilton was connected to someone in government, considering that the envelope was addressed to someone in the Canadian Secret Service. But then we have this out here.
Carl was used to strange phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first.
So, in addition to a murder site, we have a strange ice formation here that is definitely not something you're going to be seeing on the regular
Carl
out
found
here.
a surprise at every turn. Was the camera faulty, or was it a possible lead?
So we got animal prints leading away from this thing, huh? Lapis lazuli? Quite possibly. He acts more like it's ice, but I think we don't know what it is yet. We're parked here, so we might as well go follow this lead. We still gotta gas up anyway.
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out.
Alright. Now you'll note that the tracks there appear to be highlighted in the picture, so if we hold it up like this, I think if we take another picture... Yeah, you can see the animal tracks go through there. So this isn't just a cutscene thing. This is something you can actually use to uncover clues that aren't necessarily visible. Just like real Polaroids. So yeah, you're getting a sense this is going to be taking kind of a surreal direction all of a sudden. Yeah, I Frosty the Snowman Fatang.
The Polaroid, Carl's long-standing and faithful ally, had seen its share of husbands caught red-handed cheating. There's always something out there waiting to be snapped away.
Like this guy over here, for instance.
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a man fossilized in ice. All of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams.
Oh,
Cold,
shit.
unknown dimension.
We're in Canadian
Somehow,
Silent Hill now.
Self-control was slipping from his grasp.
This is shelter-in-place weather. Yeah, no kidding. Oh. Alright, so we've got a guy running from wolves there. What's this? The beast
To all
enjoys long
appearances,
slumbers.
This was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
Yeah, whiteout conditions, walking in the woods. Yeah, it's a miracle this guy survived long enough to be frozen solid. Anyway, the beast enjoys long slumbers. Its sanctuary seems impregnable. Ice is everywhere. I need to exercise patience and wait for it to come out, to think like a hunter. The beast often invades the settlements bordering the lake. It terrorizes the white people. They never see it coming, but they feel its presence, a cold dread grabbing your innards. The beast excites the wolves, makes them more aggressive. One attacked me. I had to cut its throat. The blade digging into its flesh made the sound of a taut wire. The beast is getting closer to the villagers. It moves at night, bringing heavy snow and strong gusts of wind along with it. I tracked it, to no avail. I do not know the white man frozen in ice, but I do know this. It is the work of the beast. Its attacks curdle the blood of its victims. White men know nothing of this force of nature. I touched the ice imprisoning the white man. I saw things, but I do not understand them. Yeah, this is exactly how you meet up with a moose. Yeah, this is where you meet the more exotic specimens out there. Uh-oh. Wolfie was sniffing something. Yeah. Moose are not friend.
What could these engraved numbers mean?
739, huh?
A fresh path suddenly appeared before Carl.
So yeah, this is where things start getting a bit deadly premonition on us. It's not full-on surreal to that extent, at least not to my knowledge, not yet. But there is very clearly something supernatural at work, in addition to the mystery, the murder mystery we are now involved in. So yeah, this guy was being chased by something. The wolves had been agitated, but they weren't necessarily hunting him. But whatever it was, it got him. And this is probably the truck that he came from.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen hands in hot water. What happened?
Ooh. Oh, Gilles
Now
Lachance.
at least he
This was
knew
him.
who the unfortunate man
This was
petrified in ice was.
The storekeeper.
Gilles Lachance, the general store's manager himself.
Alright. So, following the tracks, we stumbled our way
That
over to this
had
truck.
be the worst parking job ever.
Which,
Who was Carl to judge, though?
I'm not
It may be
sure if it was
customary to
there,
park
however.
like that
We're actually
around
on
these
the track
parts,
to the general
or
store over
not.
here. So, did we imagine all that? Did it happen after we got here? Again, we're having some lapses in time and spatial awareness that we can't explain. And it's an open question whether some of this is Carl imagining things, or if we're just going full-on cosmic horror right out the gate. But anyway,
The pumps wouldn't
Right, we have
surrender
to
their
unlock the
divine
pumps.
nectar so easily.
we do have
In
some
all
mundane
likelihood, they had
concerns
to
here.
be switched on from inside the store.
But yeah, I like the idea of this game mixing survival elements with supernatural elements on top of a detective story. It's very clearly doing more than is obvious from the onset. Like, I knew you'd be out in the woods and there'd be danger from wolves and other wildlife. I did not know about that, however. Anyway, let's gas up and get out of here. Alright.
Carl knew straight away where to find the infuriated Gilles Lachance. Any good investigation would...
Let's see. Do we have anything worth storing in there? Alright. So we've got a revolver with 3 bullets. I'm not sure if that's... I'm assuming that's our gun, although he might be using the murder weapon. I don't know. We got cigarettes, matches. So we've got a limited amount of film. We got to keep that in mind. Fire starter kit, tongs, first aid kit, and some crafting stuff, apparently.
would have to start there.
Alright, So let's find. Let's remind ourselves where Mr. Lachance is. Alright. Documents. Alright. 1555. One. Let's see. First rang. Manistan. Alright. Now, do we have any street addresses we can use up here? Let's check the map. It's probably going to be somewhere further in town, but it's not really clear there is a town per se, so much as just a series of... a main road that kind of threads through the lake and a series of side roads. That up there looks like it might be a settled area. Hamilton might be the actual town. Old Rosaire, Blaze, General Store... Oh, hang on a second. Lachance. Oh, okay, so it's actually a bit further back. Alright, cool. Good a place as any to start. Alright. Back on the road. Alright. Oh, okay. That tree came down. Ominous. Alright, let's turn around. Let's see if we can find Mr. Lachance's residence. Our current and only lead right now. Alright, so down the road, actually near where that turnoff was, so... got a little bit to go yet. But yeah, I'm kind of digging this. Like, having a big open area to drive around as part of the investigation is kind of a nice little end run to having a densely populated urban area, which would create issues with having to populate that with NPCs to interact with. Whereas in this case, it appears to be geography that's going to be our main obstacle here. Figuring out where to go and surviving the trip to get there. Yeah, very much so. Alright, anything in the mailbox? Alright. Dear Mr. Lachance, we have carefully taken note of your complaint regarding the collapse of a natural cave on your property. However, given the absence of any actual damage or injury, we cannot move forward with this investigation. The natural cave cannot be considered a personal belonging. Furthermore, your claims regarding the landslides caused by the work in the new DW Inc. mine seem outlandish, as the mine is miles away from your property. Also, it's imperative that you secure your property, as you'll be held accountable for any injuries caused by the steep terrain. This is where Crying Wolf leads you. Sincerely, Pierre Valjean, Registrar, Sûreté... pronunciation's failing me on there. Sûreté de Quebec. Right. So, basically, the mine has disturbed the spirits of the land, and is causing problems all over the place, and now we're being attacked by ghost wolves. That's the theory I've been going with so far. Anyway, let's check Mr. Lachance's house and see if we can find more about the big picture here. Is that another wrecked car? Oh, I think that's a trailer. Alright. Looks like that's it up there. I do feel like it'd be wise to turn the engine off while you're not using it. If only be so somebody doesn't just run in and take it. But, it's Canada. Maybe thieves are too polite for that. What do we got here?
The crossbow bolt stuck into the wooden stairs reminded Carl of the arrow that was said to have hit Achilles' heel.
Interesting.
But who was the intended Achilles this time?
And why is it burning? Is that like some kind of marker? Oh, is that one of those flare darts from Deus Ex? We're gonna have an interesting crossover if it is. Alright. First, check the garbage. No garbage. Right. Knock, knock.
The air
was
Jesus. Freezing, right down to the bone.
Okay. This complicates things. What the fuck? Garbage not in the bin, yeah. Okay.
Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay. The otherworldly ice had struck again. the woman's hopes and dreams were frozen in eternity.
Oh god, so this might have been his wife. What the hell happened? Okay, I saw that the handprint kind of stayed in the air. Okay.
Something was hidden under the stairs.
Interesting. Okay, Bertrand Lachance, 1948 it looks like. Yes. So, bet on that being a 4-digit code.
The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him.
Oh, damn. Alright. Nothing useful here. Huh. Right, we got that.
Perhaps their spousal relationship had been cooling down lately.
You always do this. You're always like this. You're going out into the woods with your gun and gonna fight off evil mind spirits. I want a divorce.
It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house.
Oh, damn. I think we have a Mr. and Mrs. Smith situation going on. I think she's gonna grab a gun, too, and also go off into the woods.
The vision's veil was lifted, and he was back to reality. A reality in which Giselle, Gilles' loving spouse, was motionless, frozen in ice.
Okay. Mother once told me, when I first met Gilles, that I hadn't picked the brightest bulb of the lot, and as the years fly by, I'm seeing the truth of her words. Always trust your mother's wisdom. That blackmailing scheme is a prime example of Gilles' brightness. Oh, we're getting right into it, aren't we? He's like a small dog. He thinks he's bigger than he actually is. He growls, genuinely thinking he's scary, but everyone knows he can be pushed aside with just a little kick. He truly believes he can blackmail Hamilton, the big boss himself. Oh, shit! Okay, suddenly it all makes sense. We're gonna have a Metal Gear Solid crossover here instead. It's gonna be a long time in hell before my poor Gilles can manage to pull off such a feat. After all, Hamilton's a rich, learned, and influential man. Not only is that blackmailing idea bad to begin with, let's be honest, Gilles is way out of his league, but Gilles doesn't even know how he's actually going to carry this out. I don't even think he ever would. He's just throwing random threats out loud in the kitchen. He says he'll do it eventually, but I know better. Successfully blackmailing requires masterful cunning, and Gilles is a master of nothing. He's nothing. He's a slave, and forever will be. I often look at that safe he keeps hidden in the fake wall, in which he stores all these incriminating documents he intends to use, and I just can't come to grips with the sheer ridiculousness of the whole thing. Oh, there's another page. It's true that Hamilton would still have to figure out the combination to the safe where everything was hidden. Oh, come on, this is easy mode here. Only problem is, Gilles himself tends to forget the combination. He has a trick to help him remember. His father's first initial, followed by 3 numbers I had to engrave behind his pendant. Oh, that's what we found in the woods, 759. Okay, so it's not as simple as the thing behind the painting. Alright, or the photo. Who could possibly have a hard time remembering 3 simple numbers but my Gilles? October. Gilles has trouble sleeping. He would flail his arms and legs in his sleep. I told him this blackmail business would be hard on him, but that's the problem with idiots. They always think they're the smartest person around, no matter how hard you try to shake them. Hamilton will find out, and then we're done for. We'll have to move to Val d'Or and live with a small fry. I'm shaking as I'm writing this. I cannot believe I've taken part in this tragedy. I haven't done anything. Why do I feel so guilty? Poor girl, she was so young. Interesting. So, what was William being blackmailed for? What exactly did Gilles know? Alright, so we can fill a bottle if we want to. Looks like they were repainting the whole house. Anything under here? Any puzzle items and or survival items I can find in here? As the owners of this house are now deceased, it is now mine by right of inadvertent conquest. Alright, painkiller, that's good. We're gonna need those. Yeah, exactly. Carl with a K and Carl with a C. You know what? We have kind of a Catherine thing going on. Like, there's a Catherine with a K and a Catherine with a C in that game, and they're very different people, and thus forms the crux of the dilemma. It's an interesting game. Alright. Well, see. We could start a fire, but...
That window had seemingly been left open for a while, Carl thought.
Yes.
Given the punishing weather, it couldn't have been intentional.
Yeah, something tells me it wasn't just the window being left open. Although, that's the part that's pretty reasonable. Obviously, this is where it gets suspect. Alright. Anything in here? Oh, hell yeah! Meat! We need them carbs.
The pot was cold, and the stew inside wasn't cooked.
Can we eat steak raw?
It's likely that poor Giselle was slow.
Hang on a second. Okay, painkiller, cigarettes first. It's probably a consumable, or a, thing we... It's probably a thing we cook. Equipment. Yeah, here we go.
Cooking it before she got
Oh,
snapped.
wait a minute. No, this is a lure.
Otherwise.
Basically, if we encounter wolves, I can throw this and get them off my back. Sweet. Alright, what do we got here? Alright, what was dear old dad's name? Bertrand, and then 759.
Carl had seen that kind of safe before. With its double-layered security system blending letters and numbers, its code couldn't be broken by the common burglar.
I'll have you know I'm an exceptional burglar, narrator. Wait, did that not work? Hang on, let me check the... Where was that necklace thing? 739, my bad. Okay, I'm merely an above-average burglar. And since I'm moving on to supernatural detective, you should be more polite. Alright. William Hamilton is a crook. He's been blackmailing everyone in the village, myself included, like the infamous Seraphin Poudriere. I'm gonna be bangling pronunciations. I apologize. In this document is proof of every bribe paid by Hamilton to the federal authorities in regard to the acquisition of his damn mine. The fact that he used his henchmen to instill terror within the village will not sway the tribunals down in Montreal, but the fact that he's been bribing government officials surely will. Thanks, friend. I can already picture it making the front page. The English are all the same. We will prevail. Written with different ink. Hamilton is not only a crook, but a murderer. I do not believe in his remorse. I firmly believe he will pay for his crime. I do not believe in native magic, but I do believe in their vengeance. Alright. So yeah, Hamilton built his mine, angered the mine wolf ghost spirits, and now they're pissed and having revenge. Although, Hamilton was dead from what appeared to be a gunshot, so someone human probably killed him. But something supernatural...
It felt like old people were all these walls
killed
could
Jill
see
and his
for
wife.
years.
Also,
The
can we get rid of the
could
steak
hardly
here,
be
man?
blamed for wanting to freshen things up a bit.
Seraphin is pretty solid. Poudriere would be Poudriere. Alright. Founded by Bertrand
general
LeChance more than
store,
20 years
along
ago.
with several more infrastructures in the area, had been acquired by wealthy industrialist William J. Hamilton. Perhaps the village should be rechristened Hamiltown.
Oh, man. Okay. I don't know if that deserves a ping, but I'm going to give it one anyway in spirit. Anyway, so... General Store, better known as Chez LeChance, is one of Manistan's economic mainstays. Since the passing of its aged owner, however, business wasn't as blooming as it once was. Gilles LeChance, inheritor of the humble establishment, had no choice but to sell everything to William Hamilton, the rich and famous businessman who sparked a major controversy last year when he announced the reopening and expansion of his copper mine. As of now, operations at the General Store are expected to remain unchanged despite the change of hands. Gilles LeChance still helms the register. This is a surprisingly well-informed article there. Let's see, anything up here?
What a mess. Clearly, there was some major revamping work underway here. The place looked barely habitable.
I know Gilles had a
Many
gun
boxes
on him.
scattered about. Carl didn't need
It
to
was
summon
probably
his
frozen
detective
with it.
training to quickly figure that the LeChances had just moved in.
What do we got here? Oh, ammo. Nice. Camera ammo. Sweet. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a
would restore
thing.
the room to its charm of olden
Like, if
days.
pictures we take are not just for personal reference, but actually have some quest significance.
Beautiful portrait of Gilles and Giselle, bound together by the chains of conventional love.
Cigarettes. Hell yeah. Actually, that does appear to be a resource as well. Wonder what it does. Let's find out.
Carl, like many of his contemporaries, Felt like he had more trouble breathing when he wasn't smoking.
Nice.
Cigarette was his own personal breathing assistant.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're a proper detective. Lung cancer is a problem for 20 years from now. Maybe 10. Anyway, might as well grab some wood here. Is there anything in the back of the house? It is, after all, where the ice came from. What's this? Yeah, magnet. Alright, gotta be doing some crafting. Right. You know what? I think I get the idea. Let's take a look around. Alright, so the general store is down the road. It looks like this is kind of a footpath leading there. There's a campfire along the way. That might have been along the way to where LaChance was found. We don't want to get too far from the car. Yeah, this is out in the woods. Let's get back to the car. Alright, so LaChance was blackmailing Hamilton. That seems to have caught up with him, but that's not what actually did him in. And Hamilton seemed to be changing something in his will, perhaps, or in some other aspect of his business. And that appears to be what did him in. I'm going to drop off some of these materials here. Let's see. Yeah, that can go in there. Actually, we should be okay for now. Alright, where can we go to next? Oh, okay, Tab apparently exits the vehicle. So, down the road from here, actually right across the road, basically. Actually, where are we now? Alright, so we're on that little... yeah, that cul-de-sac area there. Or the little turn-off. Okay, so across the road over here should be where that other house is. Now, if detective stories have taught me anything, it's that everybody's mailbox is going to have plot-relevant information in it. Hey, speak of the devil. Oh, hey, look at this. Interesting. Child's drawing. There's something of interest between two houses, and I think I recognize where that is. Nope, nope, damn it. Carl, back in the car. For the most part, I think the game handles decently, but there is some getting used to the controls. So, I think the... so there's a couple roads that sort of end in those little circles there, or that drawing could be referring to, but I think it's going to be somewhere on the other side of that southern portion of the lake. Anyway, let's go see if anybody's home. Yep, reload in, there we go. Hey, lights are on. Might have an actual person to talk to here. Hello, anybody here?
Carl was no burglar. He didn't need to resort to petty techniques such as window breaking to find his way in.
Aha.
A good detective simply looks for keys where gullible souls hide them.
Alright, well, nobody answered me not knocking at the door, so I'm within my rights to enter by video game logic. In we go.
The house smelled like incense, the kind that reminds you of the good Lord, of peace.
Alright, what's this? No loose change in the cracks. I like that that's what we were searching for here. Alright, enough food for rough times. It's actually got a chili in here. The heat's probably off is the thing. Alright. Okay, so they got a kid here.
The family's mother must have spent her days washing the filth off her kids' diapers.
We should probably start a fire. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna grab, I'll grab a log from the car and we'll start a fire here. Yeah, I like the thought of just breaking into someone's house for no reason other than we need, plot advancement here. And we're just gonna start a fire. Anything on TV? No. Wonderful. Alright. Let's see if there's anything of interest around here. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna take their steak. I will be restrained in what I pick up. Is that matches? Those I'll take. Film, that is obviously necessary for me. I am an important detective man on an important detective quest. But we will do our best to leave the house more or less as we found it. It's reminding me a little bit of
The
the
snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone.
Alright, that's ominous. It's reminding me a little bit of The Long Dark, which is a wilderness survival game set in Canada after some weird cosmic accident, or some weird, like, solar phenomena or something knocks out all electronics in the area. Your plane goes down, and you basically have to survive out in the wilderness. And there's nothing supernatural about it as far as I know. It's just you, the woods, and animals out there that like the taste of your flesh. But not like zombies running around or anything. And it giving me kind of this vibe as well.
Love of religion and ancestors was rooted deep inside the hearts of Canadians of old, to which the Bedards appeared to be
there is
closely
power. Okay.
related.
Huh. Alright. Dream catchers. Interesting.
Dream catchers originated from First Nations legends. They were used to trap nightmares. Carl wasn't desperate enough to invade a village woman's privacy.
Oh no, just break into her house and take all her stuff, but obviously we draw the line at reading her diary. Again, we are a restrained home invader. Alright. Works of art from a future artist. Okay, so this is the kid that drew the drawing that was left out there. So maybe the kid hid something at that location. Marie's diary. Okay, so we'll read the kid's diary, just not the woman's.
Without a doubt been the closest man in the village to William Hamilton, otherwise known
Yeah,
as
he does
Uncle
kind of have
Willie.
that Stanley Parable vibe to him, the narrator. I don't think it's the same guy, but I think he's kind of channeling that same, like, gentle English person vibe. Not British, but kind of that... trying to think of the right phrasing for this. But yeah, you kind of get what I'm going for here. Anyway, August 16th. I have a diary just like Mom. Unlike her, though, I don't wear a long face when writing, but I do love to write my thoughts. And about Martin, most of all. I love talking about him. I think he loves me, too. Just like in Romeo and Juliet, people don't like it when I see him, only because he's ablaze. But just like in that story, nothing can stand in the way of true love. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Guy constantly narrates you based on what you're doing. Yeah, I get that. I lost appetite. I can't sleep anymore. Every waking hour, intense shivers run through my body. Dad's making me see Dr. Beaupre. Beaupre, I think that is? Anyway. With his big hands touching me everywhere, his foul breath exhaling all over my face. Yuck. I'm not sick, I'm in love. I loved Martin so much. There's nothing I like better than thinking about us playing together, like we always do. I wonder if he found the key I lost the other day. He was pretty sad when I did, because it's for his dad's garden shed, and Martin has always been afraid of him. I think Martin's dad is a bit like Dad's god. The key fell in a burrow next to the shed. Poor Martin, he cried like a baby, but I still love him. Mom often cries when she feels lonely. I think there's no reason for her to cry. Mom can be stupid sometimes. Dad works a lot because of that wealthy English man buying everything. That's what notaries do. They make sure that people get what they're paying for, basically. It's complicated, but that's how Dad explained it to me. The rich guy doesn't look half as bad as Martin told me he was. When I saw him this morning at Dad's office, he told me, "Call me Uncle Willie." Oh boy. I found that pretty funny. Plus, he gave me candy. Okay, yeah, now we're getting creepy here. Okay, it was kind of old and dry, but still candy. I think Dad gets along well with Uncle Willie, because when he's with him, he laughs the same way he does with Father Label. I had to gobble up Dr. Beaupre's medicine, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have made it to Christmas, or so he said. I haven't seen Martin in weeks, nor did I go for school for that matter. Dad has been praying beside my bed every morning for a while now, and at bedtime too. Today he went hunting with Uncle Willie, and he told me to ask God to ask him to bless him in my prayers. I think this has to do with the medication, or with the medicine that only the richest of the rich can afford. Dad told me he'll be praying for Uncle Willie until the day he dies, and that I should do the same. God, Father Label, and now Uncle Willie. I wonder when Dad finds the time to pray for Santa Claus. How could Mom be so stupid? And she's getting fat, too. She cries like a newborn puppy all the time. It's so annoying. I came across Martin today. He seemed pretty thin, and maybe kind of dirty. He doesn't look as neat as presentable as Uncle Willie, that's for sure. Okay, so we are getting some disturbing subtext here. We don't have the full scope of the picture, but obviously there was something going on with her mom, and possibly her dad was disposed of in the woods by Mr. Hamilton. Technically speaking, originates from Bastion, which predates Stanley. Yeah. The main difference with Stanley Parable is they're kind of in conversation with the player, even though you... Why didn't I do this earlier? Even though you, the player, are limited in your means of expression. How did they draw the sun? Oh, dang, look at that! That's actually pretty impressive. In fact, too impressive. That's probably witchcraft. The kid's responsible, I tell ya. Alright. Well, as long as we're in somewhere warm, let's figure out where we're going next. Nope. Switch your foot. Let's see. Journal, documents...
Carl, ever diligent in his work,
Ah, here we go.
always carried his log on him, in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads
All right.
alike during the course of his investigations.
Let's see, here we go. Alright, case of vandalism, meeting at general store tomorrow at 11 a.m. The crash, a cold mystery. The weather is crazy here. Error margin of... Okay, possible fake Canadian at work. We have it in Fahrenheit here. I'm putting this game on notice. Alright, Hamilton's murder, the hunt. Alright. Hey, that's us! Oh, look at us! Yeah, we are such a classic hard-boiled detective here. This is great. Montreal, 42, private detective. I'm a private detective. Pays the bills along with my veteran's pension for my time in Korea. Usually I'm hired to track unfaithful husbands, but divorces are expensive, so infidelities are scarce these days. William Hamilton hired me. He had a check and many promises, and I really wanted to leave Montreal. And Lake Otamapek is the perfect place to get away. When you want to leave, you leave. William J. Hamilton. Oh, okay, so he's an American. Occupation, businessman. Rich industrialist, much hated and much loved. Anything that isn't his in the Manistan region, he wants. Buying is his only power. Hamilton has complained time and again of being persecuted. Sometimes he'll say it's the people of Lake Otamapek, sometimes the Cree people. Some would say he deserves it. When you exploit people, the least you can do is stay away from them. Huh, alright. Okay. So yeah, let's see. Interesting, blah blah blah. Feeling that made his hatred and thirst for vengeance grow. Struck the poor man. He's now imprisoned in ice. He tried to escape, but it was too late. I think he was being stalked by wolves. Alright. Turned up to ice while waiting for her husband. It's awful. Yeah, we've had this conversation before. I more or less enjoyed the Stanley Parable. I do think some parts of it got a little bit too cute for its own good, but for what it was trying to do, I did enjoy it, and I appreciated the update that they had recently. But I know it's certainly not going to be for everybody, and yeah, I understand the qualms there. Anyway, so can we get a little bit more information about this? Okay, here we go. Alright, my client is dead. Everything's going wrong. Okay, Mr. Oh, right. That's the, where that address was going to. An envelope torn open, addressed to the Secret Service, if I remember correctly. This whole thing is more intricate than it seems. It's getting rid of the murder weapon by putting it in the mailbox the best way. There most likely won't be any prints on it. I would have paid to see the postman's face when he found the thing, though. Another envelope, addressed to Vol from the Secret Service. There's a key inside. The killer must not have known it was there, or they would have taken it. I'm one step ahead of them. Now, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, Carl. Okay. I can easily trace back the chain of events. Hamilton wants to send a very confidential denunciation letter to the Secret Service in Ottawa. He's planning on sending the letter inside of a locked box and to send the key separately. It's cumbersome, but he's doing what he can. But something throws him off while he's in a hurry. He locks up everything and mails the key. But the box somehow ends up in his killer's hands. Interesting. Interesting. So, let's see. There's more to it than this. Alright. So these are sections we haven't filled in yet. Details we're missing. Gilles Lachance went to the doctors. Now I need to know the doctor saw Gilles. I know how to lead the lead the perfect investigation. Again, I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but it sounds like the doctor would be our next visit. Blackmailing Hamilton would have been beyond Gilles' capacities. Could he have bitten off more than he could chew by jumping from blackmail to murder? More likely, could Giselle have convinced her husband to kill? After all, her docile partner seemed to obey this strong-minded woman. Alright. So maybe the doctor is our next course of action. What else is there? Alright. Where's all the snow coming from? They say fall's an unpredictable season, but this is something else. I saw some weird ice earlier that seemed to be lit up from within. I'd never seen anything like it. I don't know the chemical process in which pictures reveal invisible prints. I have to say it looks entirely supernatural. Caribou? The strange vision I had when I got near the ice is puzzling. My investigator brain keeps focusing on a small detail that may be pointless. A necklace with the number 739. Right, we know that one. Alright. For what it's worth, a vision told me that things weren't going so well between the Lachances. Right, we got that. Dard family home was completely empty, not a living soul. So yeah, as you can see, we've got several quest things here, and this is basically how we're going to keep track of them. So, let's see. Exit been shaken up since Korea. Who's the driver of the other car? Whoever it was, they don't have a snowball's chance in hell if they intended to continue on foot. Besides, why did they leave so suddenly? Nice little bit of poetry in the back of a beautiful face. That reckless driver was also melancholic. A locked box. Right, so we know what was inside there. In the box I found a state affair, no less. Hamilton wanted to expose some shady activity by enemies of democracy. I still need to figure out why the hell this message ended up in the doctor's hands. The reckless driver was definitely a fugitive running from the scene of their crime, still covered in Hamilton's blood. What a mess. Alright. So Gilles was probably not probably not Hamilton's killer. We could go back to where the car crashed and see if there are any tracks out there, but something tells me it might be more worthwhile to follow up on this doctor thing and see where that goes. Now, can we extinguish this fire? No, we're just gonna let it burn. Fine, why not? It's fine, it's not like leaving an unattended fire as a hazard or anything. Actually, I think the doors automatically close when you're away from them. Let's back up a little bit. There we go. Alright. Now, let's see. Is there anything in the garage? Remember, this is a survival game. We need supplies. Alright. Hardware.
A true Catholic always strives to keep lowly temptations at bay.
Fuck yeah, beer.
Obviously, Carl thought, someone in this house wasn't doing a good job at upholding the Holy Bible's teachings.
I will confiscate this in the name of the Lord. I will remove temptation from their presence. Alright. Now, doctor's office. Looks like that is up and across the lake. So, as good a place as any to go. What I'll do is I'll head over to the doctor's, we'll see what the next leg of the plot is, and then I'll try at least once wandering off into the woods and we'll see if we get attacked by anything. Because there are controls to aim and shoot, so I assume that there are physical threats at some point. Anyway, we need to go back on the road, take a left, and then a left at the first fork. Off we go. But yeah, I can appreciate a mystery that is simultaneously a slow burn, but is also introducing you to the... Make sure I got the right direction here. That is introducing you to the surreal elements quickly. Like, the game is not hiding that there's going to be something supernatural here. So obviously something froze the Lachances solid, and appears to be stalking the residents of this area, but there's also political intrigue and Hamilton's business holdings that might have some involvement in here. Did he, in fact, stir up mind ghosts by his investments? Did he discover something down there? Is it aliens? We don't know. But we're gonna find out. My name isn't Carl... whatever. I was about to say Douglas, but that's Kung Fu fighting. Fuck it! We're Carl Douglas now. This is what we did after the song. Or possibly before. Alright, so that's the general store. That area was blocked by a tree, so we're gonna pull in through here. Gotta say, this truck's got some great
Carl
handling,
felt that the
given the
store
snow.
and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out.
Oh, okay, so that's a clue we should continue looking around the store. Fair enough. Alright. There were some gaps there, so maybe we missed something important. Maybe the game wants us to find the wolves. Alright. Investigate we shall. See, anything in here?
A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
Alright, let's see. Anything else in here? Anything on the crime scene we didn't catch? Getting a little bit jittery here. What do we got? Don't even travel half the province of Quebec to come here. Or didn't even travel half the province of Quebec. Yeah. Massive. Alright.
Amateur hunters showing some pride at having killed a nice pelted beast. With men like this roaming the area,
oh damn, look
wolves
at this
would
guy.
become extinct within 10 years, Carl thought. Jumping from that height was akin to tempting death. Perhaps that man on the snowmobile had seen enough of this world already.
Guy just fucking YOLOing off the side of a cliff in a snowmobile. That is an extremely Canadian way to go, I must say. Alright. Recall right. Animal tracks led this way. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. This is a terrible goddamn idea. But hey, game, you were the one that suggested it. No, we don't need the flashlight, Carl. Alright. Yeah, the campsite was down that way. Oh. Oh boy. We have 3 bullets here. We're gonna have to be real careful with this. What's Wolfie doing? Oh shit! Oh boy. He's got a friend. I think now would be a good time to just turn and run. Oh shit! Ah! Back off, Wolfie. Hey! Alright. I scared him off. Sweet. Alright. That went reasonably well. What's this? Okay, so they were just by some trash. So probably someone dumped their trash in the woods and then they were just eating whatever was there. Again, a very suspect thing for Canadians to do. Although maybe it was Hamilton. Alright, so getting the feeling we're just kind of wandering out in the woods here. This is a terrible goddamn idea. Let's head to that camp. Oh shit. Ah, not again. Surprised there isn't a hotkey for this. Alright. Back off, Wolfie. Hey, hey! I said back!
Carl never thought he would be dancing with the
Oh!
wolves.
Damn. Took a chunk out of me. Got 1 bullet left. So yeah, obviously just wandering blindly in the woods is a terrible goddamn idea, and will bring you across hostile wildlife. Now, whether this game only puts you up against wolves or something more exotic is unclear. I know from the store page you do eventually get a rifle, so it's entirely possible they put you up against beefier targets. And given the apparent supernatural threat we're dealing with, there may be things out there which are not entirely human. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. I completely forgot about this. Gilles talked about there's some problem on his home, or some problem on his estate where a cave collapsed. So maybe that's something worth investigating. So we're going to run back to the general store real quick, thaw out, heal ourselves, and we'll see if we can investigate. Oh, hang on a second. No wolf could have done that. Alright. So homeboy did have his rifle with him. Something bent the barrel when it attacked him. Concerning. Let's warm up. Let's heal. Alright, so beer looks like... So I think this over here is kind of a sanity meter, or just kind of a general anxiety meter. So this, yeah, drinking and smoking obviously helps you relax. Smoking appears to marginally affect your health. So we're actually not doing too bad. We'll save the med kit for now, but no harm in popping a cold one. Fuck yeah, drinking on the job. Hobocop style, baby! Alright, so now we are warmed up. Let's see if there's anything around. Alright. So yeah, there's something we're missing here. Hey! Hyper Soldier, good to see you again, man. How's it going? Doing good so far. We're just doing a murder mystery up here in Canada. Just introduced to the local wildlife. Wolves are out there and they're hungry, but also people are freezing into ice and we don't know why. We'll take a quick look around and then we'll... Let's see. Let's see if we can find one more place to check out. Yeah, you know what? I am going to poke around LaChance's house there and we'll see if there's anything I missed. That is back this way. Let's go wandering in the woods again. It went perfectly fine last time. I only got a finger bitten off by a wolf or something. If the good Lord didn't intend for me to make mistakes, he wouldn't have given me 10 of them to lose.
Held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out.
Yeah, I know, brother. I'm looking into that. Alright. Right, so we got the mystery ice. There's Gilles. Seemed like he was probably running home. There's obviously something supernatural afoot. And I'll note the arrow that was stuck outside Gilles' house. So whatever it was that was hunting him, it might have had something to do with the Cree people, although it was still burning, I note. Or smoking for some reason. Let's see... I wonder... Can we start a fire here? We can, if we had a log. Ah, right here. Perfect. Nice. Now, something tells me this is not going to thaw out Mrs. LaChance. But at least there's a place we can recover. Now, I'm pretty sure we searched this place thoroughly, so let's look around the grounds. Grab one of these just in case. Let's look around. Oh! Hang on a second. This don't look natural. Huh. Oh! Fuck yeah! We can get it open with dynamite. Unfortunately, we don't have dynamite. Shit. Alright, is there anything else around here? No, it doesn't look like it. I think the game means for me to find something else around the general store. I'm just a little unclear as to what. And that is the peril of a game that doesn't necessarily hold your hand in this, because finding the next thing in your to-do list can be a little bit confusing. Now, we can continue on with our investigation elsewhere.
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out.
Yeah, I'm getting that, mate. But it's a question of finding out what those secrets are. Anything in the outhouse? Nay. Didn't miss anything in the garage, did I? I don't think so. But yeah, that's kind of the trade-off when you make a game kind of open and give the player room to explore. It's a question of how well you signpost... That's our car. Actually, no, that's the generator. How well you signpost what you want the player to do next without making it too obvious. Allowing them to figure things out without necessarily leaving them... without making it too vague. It is... Oh.
Carl was making progress, but the lift probably needed some more juice to work
Oh, that's
properly.
right. We can send the power to the garage. Alright. We'll do that real quick. Maybe that's what we're missing here. Let's see. How do we send the power over again? Is it this? Turn off.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
Ah! That would explain it then. Alright. So, turn off the store. Now we can head over to the garage. Interesting. Alright. Alright, what do we got here? Ooh, crowbar. Nice. I'll
At
take
long
that.
last, the crowbar was within Carl's grasp. Surely it would come in handy at some point.
Alright, so we did all that for a crowbar. Does it have any obvious use, however? Actually, can I use it as a weapon? I can! Sweet! Yes! Alright! Now we're ready for some goddamned adventure! But that still doesn't quite give us a direction. Yeah, I know. Alright, we'll switch the power back onto the store. Actually, this should let me open some stuff up I couldn't before. Question is, did I miss anything? Yeah, something tells me there's nothing actually in the store to find. There might be some stuff left around Jill's estate, but there's nothing we can have access to. We're gonna need some dynamite to get the cave open, and I feel like that might be the next mystery-adjacent thing. What we'll do... I'm going to... We will run to the doctor real quick. Because that did come up in discussing Gilles. That's right over there. If the game will not indicate where I am supposed to go, I will choose where to go. But yeah, so far I'm intrigued by this. I want to see where this mystery goes, and I want to see what the supernatural basis that we're dealing... What is the supernatural basis for what we're experiencing here? And the burning question of, is this what we are... Is all of this what we are literally seeing? Or is some of this influenced by the fact that
Carl was beginning to know the store and its surroundings like the back of his hand. The Seeker had sought.
Huh. Is some of this by the fact that Carl is a war veteran and might be having... His trauma might be affecting what he sees? Basically, how much of what we're seeing can we trust? I assume it's not going to play too heavily with perception like that. But then when I started this game, I wasn't expecting it to have a supernatural basis at all, so... There is going to be some curveballs here. Alright, so I think that is where the doctor's house is. Let's take a look. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing what this game is going to do. It is surprising me. Pleasantly so. And that's not an easy thing for games to do these days. Alright. Dr. Beaupre's clinic. Is the good doctor going to be frozen? Clinic key, huh? Alright, nothing under there.
There should be a law forbidding doctors from falling sick.
Medical emergency in town. The doctor there is sick. I'll be back soon. If he dies, I won't be returning. I'll have to replace him. Okay. So, that's a legitimate concern. That might be an issue, I suppose. It's more logs if we need them.
In spite of Dr. Beaupre's goodwill, the place didn't look much like a physician's office.
Go ahead and start
It
a fire
could
here.
easily be mistaken for a sewing shop.
Alright, where's the lights in here? Alright. Let's find some clues. Alright, I never did quite catch her name. The men called her Lori. She had a neck wound. There was so much blood. The bullet had done a lot of damage, probably hitting the cerebellum. It was hopeless. She had a cardiac arrest. The men had found her like this, they said. I doubt it. But in a small town like this, it's usually best to turn a blind eye. I've been told to step back from sending out the death certificate. This whole thing sickens me. No medical explanation whatsoever can explain why old Rosera is still alive. As we in the trade say, the only way to cure him is to kill him. What? Okay, Bedard. Okay, so this is the Bedard house we went to. All of her symptoms point to the same root cause. She's pregnant. She refuses it. She denies it. I'm willing to bet her husband is not the father. Let's just hope it's not Everett Lockhart, though, or she will have an illegitimate child and a syphilis on our hands. Oh joy! All right, getting kind
There
of
was no doubt that the doctor and Hamilton knew each other very well.
Haughty, can't be cured. Chronic foot pain, can't walk long distances. Rich, I'll cure him of that one day. Yeah, getting kind of a Shadows of Doubt vibe here, where you just go into a database and get all the information you can on people.
The good doctor, flanked by his beautiful spouse. Pure happiness, captured on cardstock.
What's this?
Carl recognized this woman's soulful eyes.
Oh,
Was it Dr.
shit.
Beaupre who had hit him head-on at the village border?
Oh, damn. Okay, this is interesting. Hang on, let me get the photo. Yeah, shit, that's her, alright. Isabel. So the doctor was fleeing, and he had the box that Hamilton gave him. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. What's this?
Doctors used light-reflecting frontal mirrors to look inside the patient's cavities. That was a bit unsettling. But back then, it was pretty much always the case with medicine.
Huh, alright.
Dr. Beaupre had done his medical studies quite far from here. He was surely one of the first students out of the new campus to settle on the mountainside.
Communist Manifest.
Communist Manifesto. Only a few years ago, this type of allegiance meant prison time.
Oh, shit.
And even at present, the Western world was very wary of the Soviet threat.
Alright.
Why would the doctor own such a book?
The history of all
Nobody
hitherto
kills
existing...
a rich patient to start a revolution.
The history...
Didn't make any sense.
Shut up, narrator. I'm
He
going to read
had to
this.
dig deeper still to understand.
Okay, Carl Faubert. That's the
Luckily,
name.
that was Carl Faubert's specialty.
Anyway, the history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Freeman and slave, patrician and plebeian, lord and serf, guildmaster and journeyman. In a word, oppressor and oppressed stood in constant opposition to one another, carried on an uninterrupted, now hidden, now open fight. A fight that each time ended either in a revolutionary reconstitution of society at large, or in the common ruin of the contending classes. In the earlier epochs of history, we find almost everywhere a complicated arrangement of society into various orders, a manifold gradation of social rank. In ancient Rome, we had patricians, knights, plebeians, slaves. In the Middle Ages, feudal lords, vassals, guildmasters, journeymen, apprentices, serfs, and almost all these classes, again, subordinate gradations. Okay, so looks like it's just a page there. Okay, that's cute. But, is that possibly plot relevant? Did the good doctor have sympathies with the Reds? Is that why the murder?
A chamber
never know.
pot. Fortunately for Carl, inspecting it wouldn't further this particular investigation.
I'll take that first aid kit, thank you. To each according to his need, comrade. Store in a cool, dry place with a constant temperature, they said. Huh. Earth doesn't look this big from here. Doctor is apparently fascinated by history. Alright.
Carl got the trembles as he imagined the excruciating pain that kind of scalpel could no doubt inflict. Within these miserable walls, patients probably felt more like in a slaughterhouse than in a doctor's office.
Yeah, getting the sense this guy was an old sawbones as far as... Oh! Attach wire to a magnet. Alright. Wired magnet. Oh, alright, so we're going to be using this to fish something out. Noise. Huh. The plot has thickened. Okay, when locking a door isn't enough. Ooh. Hang on a second. Where's my crowbar? Damn it, Carl. This is why you have a crowbar. Oh, is it boarded up? Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Can we pull this open? Apparently not. Damnation. Alright. We'll take a quick sweep of the outside and then we'll call it. Ooh, I missed the mailbox. Alright, nothing in the mailbox. Anything outside? Ooh, we got animals here. Huh. What's this? Interesting, interesting. Anything in the garbage? Duct tape, I'll take that. Alright, so some animal went off into the woods. It looks like a wolf tracks.
Carl felt like he knew the doctor now. His belongings had spoken lengths about him. But what Carl had heard worried him.
Tracks disappear here. It doesn't appear like there's anything out here. Alright, back to the doctor's house. Whatever mysteries out there will have to stay mysteries for the time being. But still, very interesting turn of events. So we know for sure that the doctor is the one we ran into. Interesting. Somebody was out drinking here. That appears to have been his wife's photo that we found there. So he was entrusted or stole the lockbox from Hamilton and may be his murderer. That doesn't put a murder weapon in his hands, but it does make him a suspect. Oh, thanks for the head pad, I appreciate that. So he knew something that made him a target. The question is, where did he go? And did he fall prey to the thing that killed LeChance? Or is someone else tidying up some loose ends around here?
For the one-eyed, or for other vision problems, the eye patch was the way to go.
One-eyed doctor, huh? Alright. So yeah, there are layers to the mysteries being, to the mysteries unfolding here. I'm very interested to see where this goes. For the most part, I like how it plays. For the most part, I appreciate the density of detail and the spread of area you have to cover. It definitely is going to take some getting used to figuring out where the game expects me to go, and I get the feeling we're not going to run into too many surviving humans out here. But the story is clearly prepared to take some twists, and I respect the game that plays its cards close to the vest and keeps me guessing what's going to happen next. That's a good quality for a mystery to have, and I'm eager to play this out and see where it goes. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good night. This has been Kona. We will be starting Obscure on Saturday, so some survival horror in a high school. That'll be fun. See how many of those kids we can keep alive. Probably not very many, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.